Welcome to Walls Explained. Today I'll be demonstrating how to splice bullnose together. There was a water leak here, and we had to cut out the drywall behind the toilet, including a piece of rusted bullnose. I can't wait to show you how easy it is to do this repair when you break it down step by step. Here's a close-up of the missing section of bullnose. In this case, the two sides of the corner are the shower flange on the left and drywall on the right. Nailing into the drywall will be easy, and I should be able to get through the shower flange with drywall screws. I'll cut a 5-inch section of bullnose and tuck half of it behind the corner bead on the wall. Then I'll fasten both the existing piece and the new piece into that backing, which locks the splice together and adds strength. A pry bar or screwdriver can help loosen the above piece. If there is a nail too close to the edge of the metal, you will have to remove it in order to slide this bridge piece in. It's important to note, metal corner bead is very sharp and dangerous. One slip and you can cut yourself very badly. I strongly recommend wearing gloves while you get used to handling this material. Instead of measuring, I'll hold a short piece of bullnose against the corner and clip it about a 1/2 inch below the cut line. That gives me the exact length for the new piece. When cutting bullnose, never push toward the metal with your cutting hand. I keep that hand in one place and make small, controlled snips. The hand holding the bullnose guides the cut. This reduces the chance of the snip slipping and driving your hand into sharp edges. This looks good. Before fastening everything together, I use the back of my drywall hammer to chip off the old mud on the shower flange. I stitch the splice before fastening the bottom. That keeps full control at the top. I make sure the old piece and the new piece are as flush as possible. Taking the time to get them perfectly aligned now will save a lot of time and effort when it's time to mud. With the splice dialed in, I move on to screwing into the flange side and nailing into the drywall side. Here, I notice that the drywall screws aren't sinking into the flange far enough to clear the finished drywall. If I left them, they'd create a problem when it's time to mud. I remove the screws and drive a nail in their place. You'll want to nail down any parts of the flange that aren't firmly held in place yet. I use my knife as a guide and can feel a slight drop, about 3/16 of an inch, between the new and old bullnose. Now, I gently tap the pieces with my hammer to even them out and create a smooth, uniform surface. Now it's time for the first coat. I'm using 45-minute quick set. I start by building up the area around the splice, just enough to read the surface. This first pass helps me feel where the highs and lows are. I'm not forcing the mud. I let it go where it wants to go. Since there isn't much room between the wall and the corner, I use a sideways pulling technique. Short, controlled pulls make it much easier to control the depth of the mud than trying to maintain a consistent angle over a long span. After I establish my depth, I load the knife with mud, press it into the corner, and build the bead out to match. I do this all the way down on the tub side. When I get to the other side, I load the knife with a heavier scoop and run it vertically up the wall. This gives me a head start, filling the void between the corner and the edge of the bullnose, which is about 3/16 of an inch proud of the wall. First pass isn't about perfection, it's about getting close. Once the quickset starts to firm up, light scraping and sponging will clean everything up. That's why professionals often prefer quickset for repairs like this. If you work it at the right moment in its cure, you can sculpt it instead of sanding it. Time for the second coat of quickset and one more piece of tape. Any inside corner is a stress joint. That's why we use paper tape here. It bridges both sheets of drywall, allowing the corner to move as one instead of cracking along the seam. Since I want to coat directly over this tape, I make sure it's fully embedded and pressed tight first. If there's too much mud behind the tape, it becomes oversaturated and starts to slide or bubble. If there's too little mud, the tape won't bond properly, and you'll get dry spots and future cracking. The goal is just enough mud to embed the tape without letting it float. Now I'm back to the sideways pulling technique. I start on the left side of the tape and leave the right side for the next coat. That way, I'm not digging into one angle while I work on the other. When I reach the splice, I slow down and visually check the surface before every pull. At this stage, even a small mistake can undo a lot of progress. Scrape the corners to prevent your knife from bouncing on dried chunks of drywall and ruining your finish. Next, I apply a thin skim coat over the entire repair. This smooths everything out and helps prevent the quickset from flashing after paint. Skimming with regular joint compound creates a more uniform surface and a better final finish. By regular joint compound, I mean the premixed stuff you buy in a box or bucket. Next, I'll caulk the corners. Quick touch up with a sanding sponge. I'm being careful not to use too much pressure. I add some box mud to my pan with a small amount of water until it reaches a pancake batter consistency. When I load the knife, the edges roll down naturally and form a smooth ramp. For a skip texture wall like this, I want that ramp to be as round as possible. I start with the knife at about a 35-degree angle to the wall and pull lightly. If the mud doesn't grab, I know the angle is too shallow. As I steepen the angle and continue pulling, parts of the mud begin to skip off the knife before others. That happens because of tiny inconsistencies in how the mud is built up on the blade. As the mud starts leaving the knife, I steepen the angle even more. This lets the wall grab additional mud as I pull, creating a natural skipped texture. I'm lightly knocking down the texture with my knife to avoid a lot of sanding later. Be careful not to flatten it too much. Now it's time for paint. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more drywall content and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Happy drywalling.